All right, we're back with the last episode of this trilogy. We are on episode 6, The Eye of Andor. You still have Eric here as your host. We got Aaron, we got Connor, we got Herb, we got Skylar. And we are breaking down The Eye. Arguably the best episode of the season so far. Anyone disagreeing on that?
It is the best episode.
I don't think it's arguable.
We have such a great start. We finally get our heist. Let me break it down. Let's go over the summary. So, the Eye, aided by Gorn, the rebels successfully infiltrate the garrison by posing as an escort squad for Commandant Jayhold Behaz, Gorn's superior. They take Behaz's family as hostages and force him to give them access to the garrison's payroll vault. While loading the credits onto an Imperial freighter, they are caught by Imperial forces, and Terriman and Gorn are killed in the ensuing firefight. Cinta is unable to make it on the ship, so only Cassian, Skeen, Vel, and Nemik escape from Aldhani. During takeoff, Nemik suffers a severe spinal cord injury when he is crushed by an unsecured load of stolen credits. They land on another planet to treat Nemik's injuries, but he quickly succumbs. With Vel occupied looking after Nemik, Skeen proposes to Cassian that they leave Vel behind and split the payroll between them. Cassian kills Skeen's, fearing for his life and disgusted by Skeen's selfishness. He tells Vel about the conversation and informs her that he plans to take a small portion of the payroll, the amount Luthen had promised him as payment, and leave everything else to her. Vel gives Cassian Nemik's manifesto in accordance with his dying wishes. Back on Coruscant, the ISB agents are gathered to formulate reprisals to the heist, while Luthen hears news of the theft and quietly celebrates. Man, what an action-packed one.
What an episode.
So we get quite a start with how it's slowly intros into our heist. We get Nemik talking to Cassian and mentioning how he doesn't understand how he can't sleep. Nemik was awake all night. He could, in a cause he totally believes in, couldn't sleep, while Cassian, who's just a mercenary, could sleep like a baby. But during this conversation, the only thing I could look at was their stinking hats that just reminded me of Victor Crumb in Goblet of Fire. Just these big woolly hats I was just insanely impressed with. Anyone have, like, what are your thoughts on the, what are your thoughts on that conversation? Do you think it's meaningful? Do you think it's just a passing line?
Which line?
Yeah, what was the line?
Talking about how he doesn't understand how Cassian can sleep and he can't. Talking about, like, fighting the Empire and how Nemik essentially says the Empire does not care for anyone. Just kind of getting that background of, is this for me it kept going back to fear versus losing your nerve. And what would you categorize this for Nemik? Do you think it's losing his nerve, or do you think it's fear?
I mean, fear. I mean, I don't think he ever loses his mind. He is the youngest there too, so. But I think he's all in.
Yeah, I think it becomes evident that he does not lose his nerve, because he does a great job in the heist versus where we get with some of the others that clearly lose their nerve.
Well, it's really just the one on the right.
Well, maybe.
Who else lost their nerve besides Vel?
Well, you could argue Terriman does, and we'll get to it. But
And Terriman was the officer?
he was the former stormtrooper. So that's one thing.
The former stormtrooper.
Yeah, does everyone remember how everyone is involved in this rebellion? That's one thing we didn't really cover. So Terriman's a former stormtrooper. They don't say why he's now a rebel. They just said he was indeed a former stormtrooper. Nemec, from what I wrote down, just anti-establishment. He is just against the Empire. No big event that really happened, to my knowledge. Anyone remember why Lieutenant Gorn?
Yeah, his the woman he fell in love
with
with.
the local.
Yeah.
And
then they killed her. The Empire killed her.
Yeah, I think he also was passed for a promotion, if I remember right. Like, he was supposed to get promoted and didn't.
I missed that.
Skeen, his brother, and his centuries of trees.
Did he now? Are we getting to that yet? 'Cause we
No.
already talked about this story.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there at the end.
Is that why Skeen's there, his brother?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Sinta, her family was murdered by stormtroopers, I believe, right?
Yeah, we got that
Yeah.
in the last episode.
Yeah. Cassian, he's getting paid, and then Vel. There's no backstory, I believe, on Vel. We don't know what her cause is. Am I wrong about that?
I don't
You're right.
think
I
so.
don't
I think
think
yeah,
so.
that's a good point.
It just has this limp with no clear motive. Shouldn't be the leader.
And then the one who's a former stormtrooper, I believe he was there when Cinta's family was murdered. I
Yes.
think they mentioned that.
I don't think. Did they explicitly mention that, or did they just say it's awkward because he was a stormtrooper?
I thought it was just awkward when she found out.
Yeah, that's kind of how I took it.
Oh, maybe
he
I...
was there when they were murdered. I don't think that was implied. I could be wrong. Either way, it's awkward for those two, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say so.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Man, I gotta go back. Man, a lot of notes for this one. A lot of notes for this one. So we get to meet probably the guy we dislike the most in this episode, maybe? Jayhold? What a... He looks like a Jayhold. Just some guy that... Maybe a J-hole. Just don't like this dude. Do not like this dude, Jayhold. And he discusses with the engineer, the people, the guy that's come, how and again, talking about like the tropes that relate, but stripping away the customs and the rights of the Donnies, the Donnie people, and just how unsettling it is that it's like so off the cuff that he's like, yeah, we basically gave them nothing, stripped everything away, like not a care in the world about. Like, he just has no remorse or guilt. Just Jayhold, man, not a fan.
So is he better or worse than Punchable Parent?
He's pretty bad. I do not like Jayhold. He can get punched in the J-hole. I'm out on him.
He was the commander of the entire area. Is that correct?
Yes, he's the commandant. Commandant.
Yeah. That guy, he just seemed... I wasn't as upset with him, I'll be honest. He is a bad person, but like, I guess we see a little bit later on, like, he hated being there. Like, he hated it. But he was also, you could see that he was a bad father too, because his wife seemed much more caring of their child than he did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you see a difference between his wife and Perrin, Mon Mothma's husband. Like, one's trying to get their, like, trying to cooperate with their spouse, and the other one is just, like, antagonistic of their spouse. Especially when it regards, like, their children. Yeah, I wrote, Jayhold sucks. What a name for an officer, though. Stupid and fits him. Definitely maintains a holier-than-thou attitude, which is right alongside with what the Empire wants, right? Like, that is what you'd expect a commander to be like, right?
Yeah.
You'd expect that they would be exactly the way he is, like almost all of them. Just not really anything exciting that you really want to be a part of. And then I said, yells that his 12-year-old son can dress himself, but immediately has his wife come help dress him. What was up with that?
He tried to blame the belt for like shrinking or something. Like, no, bro, you're fat.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell ya.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite lines. Perhaps you've expanded.
That's awesome.
Was a great line by his wife, Robota. Sick name.
Did not know she had a name.
Yeah. Subtitles, man. Subtitles. You get Robota.
I wrote down that as my same best line of this.
Oh, yeah.
Perhaps you expanded. I love that.
Yeah, do you think, so she argues like, oh, he's sick. Do we think he was actually sick? Like, he's fine,
Not
and
at
then he's
all.
like, he was just like, I'm not doing this. I'm out.
Like, I don't want to wear the Imperial thing. Sash.
Yeah, and it, oh man. He follows that line. It's like, with the, I believe he says something along the lines of, oh, I gotta find my quote. They say he feels sick. He may feel the back of my hand, which is comedic timing because if you catch it, he gets in the lobby like as soon as they start the heist, and Terriman just absolutely pimp slaps him with the back of his hand. It's like it's like poetry, as George Lucas would say. It's like poetry because he says he's gonna slap him with the back of his hand, and he gets absolutely wrecked with the back of Terriman's hand. Loved it. Loved it.
So before those scenes when they got captured, I was kind of worried that one of the natives was gonna like rat them out for not following them for the 10-day journey, you know? Because I was so worried. I don't know. They just had these like, I don't know. I guess I couldn't really read the natives whether or not they were gonna be like ratting them out or not. But luckily nothing happened. But I was like, were they not saying anything that these guys just joined them at the very end, even though they were supposed to be walking them down the entire countryside?
Yeah, well, of course they don't speak any language except the Donnie language, which the only translator is Gorn, so that at least helped. Which, props to him for learning the language. I know you said, like, you fell in love with the native, but it was, like, impressive that he learned that language so fluently. I was impressed with that.
I
And the
also love,
leader. Go ahead, Skyler.
that he just lies to the Commandant about what the Aldhanis are saying. Just straight up's like, yeah, that's not what they said.
I wrote that down because I laughed so much. It says, specifically, our ghosts have strong hands and long memories. Basically, like, yeah, you're gonna pay. And Gorn is like, he specifically goes to say, let me find it. May the eye find good in all of us. He's like, yeah, I'm just gonna skirt by that conversation. That's good enough. What were you gonna mention, Connor?
You sort of alluded to it right there. But I felt like the leader, whenever he like told him in the regular language what he was saying, the leader gave him a look, and it made me think that the leader could actually speak both languages. And he was like, "You just told him something I did not say. Tell him what I said. I'm not scared of that guy."
Yeah, you're.
I'm scared of being surrounded by all of these guns. Bring it on! I got a stick.
Yeah. I wrote down Walter White is leading the Donnie people, because that's who he looked like the Bryan Cranston like vibe with like the rugged beard. I just really thought like, yeah, he's leading this. He's got this. He has the prescription meth ready and locked and loaded.
One thing we didn't mention about like the Imperial takeover of Aldhani is that they didn't actually kill the local population like they normally do. They just built them a town with businesses and homes, and a bunch of them flocked down to it. It's like they're living in the hills and are just shepherds.
When you put it like that, it sounds like the Empire were good.
Yes, it does sound in the way, but they did it to destroy their homelands.
Correct. But it's like, I can't believe them. They made them homes and gave them businesses.
They didn't commit mass genocide.
I do wonder if that's like partially a commentary on like how these kind of regimes will use like comforts to almost distract from like the atrocities that they do. It's like if you keep your population comfortable and happy enough, they don't really care like what you're doing.
Yeah, the Donnie people, I won't make too much a mention of it because I don't think they're too relevant. I like the Eye is very relevant, but I don't think they're too relevant. They have no rhythm. Their dancing's really bad. I felt like they could have superimposed a different song, like Rick Roll, and it would have had better rhythm. They didn't move that well, in my opinion. I don't know if anyone has any critical thoughts on their dancing.
I didn't think about that, but that's awesome. Hot take.
They weren't there.
Dancing sucked.
You know what? If this gets back to the Donnie people, just know, like, I like you, but I just thought you could have improved your two-step a little bit. My favorite Savage move is that they exchanged the skins.
And goat skins.
And he immediately, they get it and immediately just throw it in the fire. They're like, we don't want your stupid Empire skin. We hate you guys so much.
Oh, we also didn't talk about the exchange between that electronics technician operator and Lieutenant Gorn, where he's like, "Oh, you can still smell them though. Imagine how much it'd smell with like multiple thousands." You can tell that really ticks Gorn off, but he can't say anything.
Yep.
Yeah, DJ Mustache, really not the most tolerable.
Forgot about him. DJ.
Thank
No, one thing you mentioned about the natives dancing and whatnot, it was kind of a callback to, I think, episode 3, similar to what I think Connor mentioned this in episode 3 of the podcast, where like during the climactic parts of this episode, they kept kind of like switching back and forth between them dancing like ominously around the fire. I thought it's very similar to them like hitting them, like banging the pipes in episode 3. So kind of using that same technique to really build suspense, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, well, and it escalates, like the tonality all escalates until it goes to radio silent when the Eye comes. So yeah, I think you're exactly right.
That's very similar to the pipes banging in episode 3.
Yep, you're exactly right. That building, that build of, that drama. Yeah. Very good. Right before the heist, we're almost to the heist. Does no one hear Terraman speaking in this comm link? The entire time he's like, "Hey, are we good?" I'm like, no one's looking around, being like, "Who's this guy talking to?" Like, I didn't think it was that quiet that they wouldn't notice.
Yeah, and all 3 of the other guys were just looking at him.
Yeah.
They just all stare at him. I was like, let's just have a team huddle, guys. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, excuse me, we're a little busy here. Plotting your downfall if you have any questions. Like, yeah, come on, shut up. So yeah, I thought that was maybe a miss. But I think the only thing before the heist is we see Vel losing it, right? Would that be accurate? The losing of their nerve? Like, she is not locked in at all. Like, she is, I wrote down just peeing down her leg. Like, won't make the call. Will not do anything for, like, what she needs to do for getting all this going.
I will say at first I thought it was drama. I thought it was like just theatrics, like they were making her wait a second. But no, she was hesitating.
Yeah. Yeah, because even Cinta's like, come on, like, I'm right next to you, we gotta get the job done. She doesn't...
Had a panic attack, kinda.
Yeah, and that's the absolute equivalent of losing her nerve. Not the only time she does this, by the way. In the heist we get, we'll find, I'll point it out, but she just flops the entire time. Again, proving she should not have been the leader.
Called it early. No one with a limp can be a leader.
No. Hey, by the way, when she was running, there's no limp. She's been faking it the whole time.
You were really taking notes on her limp.
I was really. I feel like I noticed like those movement deficiencies.
We're at 17 pages of notes. 14 of them are limp related.
Just kinesiology. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yes.
Kinesiology corner.
Oh, he asked me
That's
to
good.
be the doctor.
Yeah, so Fel, I'm just not your biggest fan, I'm sorry. For that reason, I am out. Anyone have anything before we get into the heist?
Oh, I was interested on how they hid the, they didn't say what the girl's job was. I thought that was interesting. Like, why were we keeping that a big secret?
Oh, Syntas?
Yeah.
They literally said, don't worry about that. It's like, you have enough to worry about.
Saying
It's like,
that
what
over
the
and
heck?
over again. Don't worry about it.
I thought that was going to play a much bigger, like, role.
My guess is just for operational security purposes, in case like one of them got caught, they couldn't be like, "Oh, they're here. Let me live."
Yeah.
Turns out Vel actually didn't have a plan, and she had no role. She was like, I'm not gonna tell him, because I don't really know what you're supposed to do anyway. Because I'm a bad leader. So. Yeah. I don't know. That's what. Yeah, I don't get the. Yeah, I guess that's the best chance that the best explanation we're getting in it, Skylar. It's just the secrecy of the plan. But. All right, so we start the heist. Everything goes to a head, and they walk Jayhold in from the skin exchange, and they start. They close everything off, and the holdup begins. Now, immediately I'm sitting there like, how is Gorn revealing himself this early? I was really surprised that they did that. And I didn't realize he wasn't with them for a very long time until they cut to him standing outside. Did anyone else make that mistake, or were you all like, oh yeah, Gorn's been outside the whole time?
Outside of the hangar?
Yeah, like I thought he walked in with them, kind of because he was like going that direction. And then all of a sudden he was out, like he didn't go all the way in, so they didn't realize Gorn was on, the rebels' side. I just sat and thought, like, holy cow, why would you reveal that so quickly?
Yeah, I don't think I really caught that.
I'm confused what you're saying here. How did he reveal it quickly?
No, he didn't. I thought he did, but like I thought he was in with the 4 from the very beginning. Like, I thought he was just sitting there the entire time, and I'm like, why would you show your hand already? But he was not. He was not with them until he walked down much, much later.
Yeah, he walked down, and he said, you.
Yeah, Jayhold,
Jayhold was not happy.
Yeah. He was mind blown. But, yeah, so the whole time, like, for at least 2 or 3 minutes, I was just, like, in shock, but then I realized I messed that all up. So they hold everyone up, and the engineer, the people that throughout the entire few episodes, like that episode and even before, they're like, oh, this guy's just like he's not really like a fighter or anything like that. He is the only one that actually puts up any sort of fight among anyone, and he does it for someone else's kid. Jayhold doesn't even care about his own son. This engineer's like, don't kill the kid. I'm like, dude, Jayhold sucks so bad. He didn't even defend his own child. The engineer has to. Of course, Jayhold would say, well, that dude was an idiot because he gets absolutely blasted and dies. I'm like, well, maybe that's an argument. Like, maybe it was not the right play. But, yeah, engineer gets popped by Synta. And I do have a kill counter as we go. Yeah, I'm tracking everyone's kills. Synta does get the first one. She absolutely blasts that dude. And that's when we start to see the split up occur between these guys. They jam all the comms. Well, they jammed all the comms. They get people away from the communications. I feel horrible for the guy that's just getting ready to serve these guys a drink. He is smiling ear to ear if you watch it over. He's like, the doors are opening and he's like, I'm so excited to give you some drinks. And then he just is getting a gun pointed at his face and he's like, oh, I brewed this fresh. Like, no, he gets he just gets forced into retirement. No serving drinks for him. And then we get to see the obvious romance of Val and Cinta revealed. And I wrote down, perfect timing, nothing like a romantic moment after you threaten to murder 7 people, which is what Val did. He's like, we will kill you all! Hey, I just want you to know that my feelings are true. Like, no, that's a crazy switch up. Like, maybe not this part. Maybe not the moment. Yeah, she's like, if we live or everyone dies! Hey. And then there's just like a hand touch, and you're like, be careful.
Okay.
You're like,
I missed that part.
That's odd.
That we've been hanging on the whole sharing a blanket thing for 2 episodes now.
Oh,
Yeah. Didn't know who it was.
They finally reveal it.
Yeah.
So it was the stormtrooper?
No, it's
No, it's Cinta. It's the girl.
The 2 girls.
Oh, yeah, see, I completely missed it, yeah. I was on Mars. Or Tatooine.
We're sitting there thinking it was the biggest reveal. Like, oh yeah, no duh. This is what's been going on. But, yeah. And, well, they walk everyone down, and they're trying to get Jayhold down there to unlock the vault, and he's like, I can't do it! And we're like, we will cut your hand off, pal. Quit lying to us.
I love how he lies like 4 different times. And they call him out each time.
That dude just is. I said, he's just being a weenie. Jayhold's just being a weenie the entire time. Like, they go down and, like, the crew that's gambling down there is just sitting there, and they, like, line them up and then hold them hostage. And he, like, Jayhold's just like, this is a robbery. They've killed once, they'll kill more. And I'm like, shut up, you weenie. Just take it like a man. This
I
guy.
thought that was ingenious when they came in and they were like, you know, inspection, everybody stand up, make a line. Because, like, then you had everybody in line, basically, and you put them all down. I was like, that was so smart. I'd have just went in guns blasting.
Okay. Yeah. Man, well, and honestly, the argument's made if you get closer, you probably could cook all of them. They're in, like, a table formation. But they weren't, like, and that's the thing that makes me mad about Jayhold. He's like, they're gonna kill again. He's like, they really didn't want to. Like, that wasn't their plan. Their plan was get the money and get out. Like, they weren't gonna just, like, murder people. But, yeah, that's the difference. I believe, and Jayhold says that. He's like, you're gonna kill us anyway. And Vel's like, well, that's what you would do. Like, you can't fathom thinking any way other than, like, the Empire way, but, like, we don't want to do that. We just want to do what we came to do and get out. But, yeah, they all get held up, and then we get the line from Skeen, who's like, they're breaking it down and trying to make sure everyone knows, like, we are going to move all this money to this freight, like, and then he says, if anyone doesn't want to hustle, hold up your hands. And I was waiting on one person be like, and then he just blast him.
Blast him,
Yeah, I wanted that to happen so badly. I was like, oh, this is serious.
Yeah, I love the line. Does anybody not want to work hard for 10 minutes?
Yeah. I wrote down, I would have been the hardest worker on that entire floor. I would have been shoveling stuff so fast. I would have been moving. Like, whatever you guys want, I don't care. I would have been the best employee. I wanted to work so hard in that situation that they're like, you know what? Maybe we take this guy on our team. Like, he's worked so hard, he's now joining the rebellion. That's the point I wanted them to think. That's how fast I was moving.
It was like a tryout.
It was a tryout, and my 40 time was great. My bench presses, I was cooking. Lateral quickness. Yeah.
Like, you know what? This guy's onto something.
This guy has potential. This guy has potential. See, that's what I was hoping they'd see out of me.
Where the Joker breaks the thing in half. It's like, we're gonna have tryouts.
I'd be out there working hard, and then I'd be like, you know what? This Jayhold guy, he sucks too.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? I never liked him.
I never liked him, for the record.
I just just for our viewers, so they know, we'll be coming out with a video of us doing the NFL Combine. So if you want to see Talking T take on the NFL Combine, drop a like.
That's right. I can bench 225 so many times.
I can run a sub 640, so you guys better watch out.
I tried to bench 225 once. I might die.
I really love that scene of the holdup. I think Skeen, the Thing, Ben Grimm, just dominates that scene. Because when that vault comes undone, and he has that pause, and then he goes, "Let's go!" I thought that was such a good delivery of that line. If that made any sense, like I just thought it was just so intense, like, and everything was like, this is so serious, and they conveyed it really well.
Well, it's like they've been talking about the stealing of the wages and whatnot, but then when he actually sees it in person, he's probably like, this is the first time I've ever seen a million credits, or millions of credits. So it takes him a second to kind of take it all in, and then he's like, oh crap, we gotta go. Let's go! Screams at everybody.
Yeah, and they get moving. I mean, absolutely moving for the most part. Except for Jayhold, who we hate. And go ahead.
Go ahead. No. I didn't want to. I'm sure you were gonna get to this.
It does cut to, so this plan's working flawlessly, except for DJ Mustache. Now, I do have a question. What you guys thought about DJ Mustache? Does he fix things, or is it just dumb luck that it like breaks through and he hears it? What did you guys take?
Two things. First, right before that, Cinta is being called by the Aldhani air base.
Alkenzi. The Alkenzi.
Anything.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, it's like, we need confirmation, and she just like turn that off.
She just turns it down.
Yeah, it's like, no.
I'm like, did we not learn from Star Wars and New Hope?
How are you? How are you? Everything's fine here.
We're all fine. How are you? I was really hoping they did that in that scene.
That'd be a good callback.
But as far as DJ Mustache goes, Lieutenant Gorn is at fault there because he told him very specifically, "You need to be standing your post tomorrow night. I better not catch you wandering, staring out again."
Yeah, I did not think about that at all, but you're right. He should have been like, watch the eye, enjoy the day, it'll be fine. I never thought of that.
Yeah, that's true. No, I think it was, I don't think he did anything to fix it. I think it just like got through, like maybe the hacking device wasn't perfect,
Yeah, and they said, so the Alkenzi line, so they blocked everything except the Alkenzi line. Was the Alkenzi line on because that was the only way they could get the vault open or the restraints off? I mean, they fried it, so I didn't understand why was the Alkenzi line up anyway if that was the case.
I think it was just to maintain comms, so they didn't start
sending people over quicker.
Yeah.
Except for Sintod not doing anything.
How are you?
Why on earth would they not hold one of the guys that work there to a gun to his head and then just be like, make him say anything you wanted? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
instead of just not answering.
Well, Dirkus, they also waited till day two days before to figure out how to waive a load of the freighter, so I don't think they were thinking about that.
They would have figured it out.
Yeah, we would have figured it out. It would have been messy. So Alkenzi this whole time, they've talked about Alkenzi, and I'm like, they've been on the same planet the entire time? I thought Alkenzi was a whole different planet.
Nope, it's 52 kilometers away. You didn't catch that?
Yeah, it's a 10-day journey.
Well,
that's in episode 4, I think. That's a 52.
Right. I don't know. Yeah, the thing I wrote was like, why do they need two bases on the same planet? It's not a populated planet.
Well, one's an air base and one's a garrison for infantry. That is why.
That's why, yeah.
One's for the TIE fighters.
Man, I'm glad I watched with you guys. Because I knew... I was just like, Why on earth in a planet with, like, almost nothing, that they needed multiple people for that?
Well, it's close to it's far from everything, but close to everything, or whatever the way they say it.
Nailed that delivery.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, something like that. I don't remember.
It's close to nothing, but not far from everything. Something close to that.
Yeah, something along those lines.
I was just so confused. So you see the TIE fighters, they get sent that way because they've realized something's wrong. And the TIE fighter pilots, first of all, you don't really see the TIE fighter pilots get in often. So I thought it was cool that they show them like getting in from the top and how they're like mounted. But they get in and they turn that little knob on the left just a little. And I'm wondering, what does that do? Because you can't tell me, oh, it turns it on. Because in episode 4, Darth Vader does that all the time when he's about to shoot someone. So I'm like, what are they doing when they're turning this little knob to the left? I don't understand. I think they just were like, I don't know, I've seen someone do this before. So I'm gonna do it.
Maybe a zeroing in, you know, like getting maybe your weapons calibrated or something.
Oh.
Because you know, like how when Darth Vader is doing that, he's trying to like calibrate his gun to focus in on the X-wings. So I didn't know if that's what it was for. That was my best guess.
They're also made like 50 years apart, so.
I was gonna say, we are breaking the continuity of on accident.
Can't be doing that, man.
Which is crazy as a whole. Like Star Wars somehow, like the continuity just is crazy. How things like come full circle.
And as this is happening, as they're getting everything loaded up and ready, I just write down the eye is so amazing. Like the visuals on the eye is so cool.
That is like one of the coolest scenes.
I don't know if anyone, yeah, I don't know what you guys, I just, when it was quiet and that eye was moving, I was just mesmerized.
Yeah, I put down the best scene was the air fight in the eye, obviously.
Yeah, man,
That's just stunning, clutch, everything.
So we are down obviously in the vault, and we see DJ Mustache lead his command, his people down there. But before that, we see Gorn finally appear, and he's like, "You guys are behind schedule." And the look on Jayhold's face is just so
betrayal.
So like it's just so nice. I'm just so happy to see it. Satisfying. It's just so satisfying to sit there and be like, yeah, this guy finally like gets to eat that.
I was kind of questioning in that scene, like, why he comes in, like, so guns blazing, like, reveals himself. I guess his plan is to, like, leave with the rebels. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't expect DJ Mustache to be coming. So everything should theoretically, like, no one should be coming, it all should be taken care of. So he reveals that, and Jayhold is just disgusted, and he's like, you're gonna hang for this? He's like, I worked for you for 7 years. Like, honestly, nothing can be worse than that. I'm like, savage. Jayhold sucks. Also, Jayhold not rising through the ranks, by the way, in 7 years just kind of shows the officer he is, that he's really not that great of an officer. Usually you climb through the ranks really quickly in the Empire, like you're always moving up, and he just sat for 7 years. My next question is, does Jayhold have a actual heart attack whenever they come down, or did he fake that crap?
I don't think that guy's physically exerted himself in a long time. I think the old pushing of the cart got to him.
The old ticker just pooped out on him.
That's what I should have said. The old ticker.
He just drops. Like, the betrayal plus the physical exercise, man just drops over. I'm like... And honestly, I was hoping they'd be like, just shoot him, just to make sure. Just kill that dude.
Yeah. I feel like that was, like... Not a hot take, that's my cold take for this episode, is that they should have got rid of him a long time ago. Like, they should have just, like, once they got him to open that vault, like, later, pal, you know?
Love that.
Because
I can believe him working.
yeah, he's just got total liability. He's the reason that one cart, like, spills over, isn't he?
Yeah, you're right.
So it's like, yeah.
Really cost them millions.
Cut out the weak links.
100%.
You gotta make an example out of someone. Those guys would have hustled even more.
Oh yeah. You walk in that room and shoot their commander.
Commandant.
The work, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you're gonna get way more out of them than you are out of having one extra extremely fat man.
Now he's extremely fat.
He had the parent hair though. They had the same hairstyle, so maybe a look. But then our DJ Mustache gets down, and they are trying their best to save this, but it is not. And we get into our firefight. It all goes to crap, and this is where I start. I mean, typing in caps in certain things. We get the idiot who thinks he's gonna be the hero and trying to fight Cassian. I wrote down, the show isn't named after you, buddy. You are not winning this.
That's awesome.
You're not cool. Just take it. It's not happening. And really good shot by Nemec as they fight. You know, he really does a good job taking care of business. But so the fighting is so unique. So you have Vel, she's pinned down, but she's pinned down right in front of the freight. And then you have Skeen and Terriman in the vault, far away, a lot of steps away. And then you have Nemec in the freighter with Andor, who's in the kind of the cockpit. So Vel says, "I'm pinned down." And Terriman's like, oh, he's frustrated. You can tell, like, they're getting in a firefight. He runs after her, but what does he say? Skeen, cover me. So Skeen takes 1 or 2 shots, pulls away, and they rip Terriman. And I'm like, what? No cover. And obviously, it gets me to a larger point as we keep diving into this. But do you think that's intentional? Like, there's no cover. He did the bare minimum and lets Terriman die in that situation.
It's hard to say if that was intentional or not, especially as we finish the episode out and some following scenes and learning about Skeen. So
During the firefight, before we look at the future events, like, he asked him to cover him, he did turn and he did take out a guy, and I feel like that was laying down cover fire. I mean, maybe it wasn't as much rounds downwind as much as they wanted, but he did shoot a guy, but you can't expect him to just be like, all right, I'll cover you. I'm gonna go Rambo here, just da-da-da. Just full on charge.
So he didn't kill a guy in that sequence. He takes shots, doesn't hit him. But, yeah, if you're looking at it, but it makes you look at something bigger later on. Are we ready for my hot take?
sure.
My hot take is Vel basically murders Terriman. And I'll tell you why.
That she was pinned down?
She's pinned down. She's the closest to the freighter. He has to run all the way over there to help her, and he dies. And guess what? As soon as he dies, she looks up, shoots the gas tank, and runs in the freighter. Like, you couldn't have thought of that? Talking about losing your nerve. You didn't need cover. They needed cover. They had to run all the way from the vault. Vel pees down her leg and gets someone killed because she's not competent enough to stink and walk back 5 feet. Holy cow!
Are you sure that's your hot take?
I hope it's not. I hope it's cold because she's an idiot.
You don't sound very passionate about this take.
No, it's fine. I don't really care either way.
No, I'm kidding. No.
But
yeah,
like,
I would agree.
What on earth?
Yeah, what was she doing?
She was that close. She asked, like, Nemec could have shot people. He's behind her. Like, she got him killed. No doubt about that. She got him killed, and that was disgusting. Of course, before Terriman dies, Gorn does not make it long. He gets immediately blasted. Like, immediately as the fight begins, he's cooked. And that's the end of Gorn. And we don't see anything more of him.
Nope.
And honestly, the crew didn't care. Like,
yeah, not really.
Nemec's like, where's Terriman? Which is, by the way, a heartbeaking line. No one...
Yeah, where's Gorn?
Yeah, like, who cares about that guy? We don't. It's fine. If he's there, he'll come around if he needs to, but... Yeah, I am fumed because she just shoots the gas thing, stands up, walks back. Like 5 seconds later. It just, again, losing your nerve, peeing down your leg. Not an example of what we would consider a leader. A good leader. Which she wasn't, we knew. I don't know if anyone thought about that or had thoughts about her in that situation.
I did not.
Yeah.
I kind of thought, like, after like that whole sequence like finished up, especially after they take off and they kind of escape the eye, I really felt like it was a great episode. I don't have too many gripes, but I feel like the writers had the goal in mind of like, okay, we got to kill all these characters off. How are we gonna do it? And they were just like, bang, 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 like all in a row very quickly. And I do think it got a little lazy because just like you mentioned, and I agree with your hot take, it's like, I don't think anyone should have died there, but the writers kind of were like, we gotta kill these people off. Let's kill off Terriman this way. Let's kill off Gorn this way. Let's have this dude's spine get broken, even though like they're out of, they're in the clear, but we gotta kill him too. So let's just, it felt a little bit lazy, but that might be nitpicking a little bit. Maybe that's my hot take.
That was the heartbreaker for me.
Nemec.
Yeah, Nemec was a heartbreak.
But to me, it felt a little bit like, man, we gotta kill him still, so let's just find another somewhat lazy way to kill another character, just like Timon.
What an idiot.
Also, really mad at Clem. Hold on! And then just boom! Freaking idiot.
I
mad at him.
You were mad at Clem?
Yeah, but he just said, hold on! And then like, he just lets it rip. Yeah.
So I was the exact opposite. I said, did no one listen to Clem? He said, hold on, no one held on.
He gave him like a split second.
He said, hold on.
Yeah, they definitely did not secure the load, which also would have affected the flight
I see.
that freighter.
Which, to be fair, they were a little under duress, so...
Yeah, fair.
A good leader wouldn't have let that happen.
Also, I love how she gives the kid basically adrenaline to keep him awake.
No.
No.
It's a med spike.
Med spike.
Yes,
Whatever.
med spike.
Come on, man. Yeah. By the way, one last thing, by the way, when I get off of this tangent, she shoots that gas thing. Guess who has plenty of time to stroll on over from the vault and make it in the freighter? Skeen. So, yeah, she didn't need cover, and he would have had plenty of time to live, but no. Terriman's a good guy. He has to die, though, because Skeen wasn't running out there for her. Skeen was not risking it.
I think that's why that was my hot take for this episode, is that it felt a little bit plot armory. Like, these certain characters live, so they have plot armor. Like, Vel's not gonna die. Let's just... It's like, okay, I killed 2 other people because of her.
Yeah, I guess I do agree. I think that, like, they got a little death heavy. Like, some of these characters could have lived and we just, like, don't see them again if you really don't want them to be, like, in the plot anymore.
True.
Also, I think that, like, this show could get kind of like that because it has the disadvantage of, like, we know how it ends because the movie came out before the show. So it's a
Right.
prequel, and like you have to get the characters to a certain point. So any new characters that you introduce, you either have to just be like, ah, they're not here anymore, or you have to
They
like
died.
give an explanation as to why they're not.
Yeah.
So I think that like an easy way to do that is just be like, oh, they got shot. Sorry, you know, they're
Yeah,
not
fair
anymore
enough.
'cause they're dead.
Fair
So I
enough.
think that that this criticism of like lazy writing still like applies. But the reason for that, I think, is like we know where all these characters are going to end up.
Yeah.
And
If
so,
they stay
like, if we
alive, it's like,
move
why
on-
aren't they in Rogue One?
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's very true. I didn't think about that.
I wrote down Nemec's death just makes me groan. Like, literally made me groan, like, oh.
Yeah.
It's such a tough one.
So we're on the planet with the doctor.
Wait.
Okay, okay.
Before we get there, I have a note talking about we would have figured that out is their grand plan. So Cassian is flying the super rectangle. He has no idea what he's doing, where his path is. They had no plan if Nemec does die. Like, they had no plan on what they would do, because he was the only one that knew how to get them out of that.
Yep.
They had no backup. Like, they had to keep him alive, but if they didn't have any contingency plan, like, okay, if Nemec dies, this is what we gotta grab this and do this. Like, they were screwed. Like, one guy goes down and they are cooked.
I think that kind of makes sense though, because I mean, even when they proposed or even when Luthen proposed this to Cassian, he's like, "It's a long shot. I mean, there's only 6 guys, but here's your reward." Like, I think that's why it was a long shot, is that everything had to go perfectly, including Nemec not dying before they leave.
Yeah, I just like, and I use this in my regular vocabulary. If climb, I love that. Like, I really like the emotion that we get out of these actors in certain moments. Climb!
I don't know where I'm going though. Climb! Just kept saying it.
Yep.
Up
So,
on the med spike.
yeah, that med spike, baby.
Sure.
Our different med name. So this is where I think right at the end we start to see the moral dilemma and maybe the changing of character here. So we do have a moral dilemma. Nemec's dying, and we have the give and take, the opposition. So he's paralyzed, he's dying, and Vel is like, hey, we don't want to risk this, we gotta let him die. Skeen, the exact opposite, we have to stop, we gotta save him. And it really comes down to Cassian. And it's Cassian's call, breaks the tie, and it's his first we over me moment that he has, because it's like almost everything that he does, everything that Cassian does is very much impulsive, and decisive, maybe is the better word, and without hesitation, he's like, we're going to the doctor, I'm flying there. He doesn't worry about risking the mission. He is making sure that Nemec, they give him the best chance to live. And I thought that's just that small change that we might get, or that small scene that peels the curtain back of oh, Cassian might actually care more about him, more about others than himself at this point. I don't know if anyone else thought that, but there's no hesitation. He wanted to make sure the team was taken care of.
I agree with that, but then, as we see later in the episode, then another thing happens, and it's like, oh, okay, well.
Yeah, so let's get to that. So, Skylar, you were talking about we get back.
So we're at the doctor, and Nemec's being operated on, and then Skeen and Cassian are out talking, and then Skeen's like, all right, we can split it. You have to fly, and I know where we can go. We'll split it evenly. Does Cassian need to shoot Skeen?
Yes.
Your guys' thoughts?
Oof.
Yes. Yes, he does.
It took me off guard, but yes, I think he does.
I think he should have at least taken him in with him to be like, hey, this is what's going on. I'm taking my cut and leaving.
Just told Vel.
Yeah, just told Vel with Skeen at gunpoint.
Do you think Vel would have believed him? I don't think so.
I don't think so. She didn't believe him even when he told her.
I wouldn't have believed him.
And
Well, he did just kill a guy.
yeah, but Skeen wouldn't have been like, yeah, I did say that. I was gonna try to screw you guys over.
Yeah,
So I think he had to. I think at that point he realizes I can no longer trust Skeen, even if he did to begin with. He's like, this guy's wrong for doing this. Like, we can't do this. So
Another thing about that too is like Skeen's marks, his tattoos, when he has that conversation with Clem, he's like, I could tell that you knew what these tattoos mean. The others didn't. So I think she actually believed his story. So that further, like, for me, solidifies that she would not have believed Clem.
Wow, true.
yeah.
And then he also admits that he never had a brother.
Okay, so let me ask you about that. And we got to wrap up. We have like 4 minutes to do it. Did he is he saying I never had a brother, or I don't because he's dead? Like, how did you guys interpret that?
His whole story was a lie.
Okay, that's how you
Sure,
interpret
he's
it.
saying that it was a lie. Yeah.
Interesting.
That's how I interpret it.
I didn't know if it was like I no longer have a brother, so it's about me. I didn't know if we went that way. By the way, doctor's name. A few quick points on the doctor. This is a great subtitle point. Anyone know the doctor's name?
Nope.
Dr. Quadpaw, which is, I thought, maybe a little bit on the nose. His 4 paws. I'm like, what are we gonna name this guy? I don't know. He has 4 paws. Let's call him 4 Paws. No. What about Dr. Quadpaw? Brilliant. So, and I'm like, what kind of doctor is this? He's doing a surgery while the guy's lying sideways. He has no restraints. Vel is holding the IV. You don't even have an IV, like stand? Like, they're not that expensive. What is this kind of doctor? I just found it so interesting. I was like, this is questionable at best.
His 4 hands, though, seemed super helpful during surgery.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
true.
yeah.
Except he didn't save him.
Yeah, but in fact, he sucks!
Yeah.
So something I
He's
thought
gonna
was
die.
like a question that I had about Skeen and his like motivation. Going back to what I said about like how him and Nemec are kind of tied together and have this relationship. He is totally in until Nemec is dying and gonna die. And that's when he decides, like, I'm in it for myself. Do you think if Nemec doesn't die, that, like, he just is fine, stays the course, and does the mission? Or do you think that he was always going to try and take the money?
He didn't know Nemec died at that point, did he?
I think that it was pretty, like...
Oh, it's
like
a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, I think that it was,
okay.
like, a very long shot that he was going to survive that situation.
Yeah, I think that question is very difficult to like figure out just by watching it. That's got to be like an off-screen type of like you make your own like the audience will make their own conclusion. I think that's a great question though.
I just find the timing very interesting, and the fact that
I
like
didn't think about that.
he's really only shown a relationship with Nemec, and as soon as Nemec like is dying, he's like, all right, that was like, I'm out.
I think the last part of altruism dies with Nemec. I think what he had left was like gone with what Nemec dies with. But we get to the end. Of course, Nemec doesn't make it, but Cassian gets his manifesto because Vel says that was his dying wish. He takes it, takes his cut, nothing more, and leaves the rest to them. And then we finally get the last scene where the news breaks the next day that, hey, the rebel attack happened. It worked. This is the first ever successful rebel, like, proclaimed mission success. Like, and all the world is noticing. You're seeing in the Senate, people are talking about it. Luthen is told of it, and you get to see him and his maniacal laugh of it finally worked. They did it. Just a great ending to the scene. And I did want to make a mention before we close out. I did have a kill count for everyone. Nemec does kill the most people. And I only do that because I give him all the kills from the TIE fighters because it was his path. I believe he deserves that. Across the board, there's only about 4 or 5 different kills. But any final thoughts in the last 20 seconds? Great episode. Super excited to keep it going.
That's all I had too.
I do have a theoretical question.
9 seconds.
Think that Skeen was actually just testing Andor that entire time?
Nope.
Nope. I think he's a bad
Great
dude.